Hello YouTube, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no talk to. March was a crazy month, and unfortunately some stuff came up in the family that kind of pulled me away from my schedule. I'm now only kind of putting out YouTube channels a couple of times a month at best. Still trying to figure out where I want the channel to head to. And most of the time I'm usually talking about fountain pens and now books, because it's really, reading's become a really big part of like the things that I like to do, that I feel like I can share with people on YouTube. And without further ado, I wanted to kind of recap where I have been with my fountain pens for the last couple of months, because it's been a while since I have filmed a YouTube video concerning fountain pens, which I still have them. I still love them. I'm just not acquiring them, so I don't have YouTube videos like a lot of others, where I'm showing you bright, new, shiny, new fountain pens anymore, because quite frankly, I feel like I have too many, and I'm getting less swayed by the bright, new, shiny thing at this point, which is a good thing for me, because I just want to put some of my resources more into traveling and having experiences versus trying to acquire a lot of stuff. And I think the stuff that I am acquiring right now is shifted from fountain pens to books, quite frankly, because I'm just getting more pleasure out of reading and observing and absorbing new things that way. So my pens really have not changed that much as far as the inks are concerned for the month of March. I did, it looks like here, I've got the same colors in. So March, I don't know if I actually filmed March's currently inked, but things really have not changed. And I'll zoom in here so that you guys can see. So I basically, in the month of April, carried over what I had in March. I will show you the fountain pens that I'm using up close, because the ink colors are probably getting highlighted more than anything. So the first one that I have is my Kaweco Rose Gold in a Kaweco AL Sport. I really do love how this one writes. Let me see if I can get that to come down. There you go. AL Sport in Rose Gold. So I am using Colorverse Brunch Date. I'm at the very end of the ink in these pens. One thing I've been observing lately with my fountain pen usage is I'm not writing as much as I used to. Even my own personal journaling is not going as well as I thought it was going to go this year, which is kind of surprising to me. I'm having even a hard time keeping up with my 5-year journal, even though I'm in the last year of my 5-year journal. So I'm trying to like do that more, but I also have things that are tugging me, like work-wise, I'm doing things more digitally. We're very much Microsoft centric. Where I work at is very much Microsoft centric. And so in both of my gigs, so I do a lot of my note taking in those apps under the Microsoft Office suite. So I'm not writing as much in notes, even because the meetings that I kind of run, I'm even putting my notes kind of in electronic form and not writing even in my work notebooks as much anymore, just to kind of keep track of the task and the to-do features that are in the suite for Microsoft 365. So my usage of fountain pens has kind of dwindled a little bit. I will tell you how it has kind of, I've been able to kind of keep it as a touch point a little bit in just a second after I finish this section of currently inked pens. Next up, I have in this Kaweco Elite Royalty, I have the Inkabera Pale Violet. I really do like this one. This one has a broad nib on it, and the ink is almost gone. So in May, I will be doing a currently inked video. Next up, I am still writing with my Pelikan M800. I talked about this pen in a video, which I can link up above, when I unboxed it a couple of months ago. This is a Holy Grail fountain pen. It's a very pricey one. I got it on a really good deal. It finally came in, and I've been enjoying it so much that I just continually, sorry about that. So I've been continually writing with this Pelikan M800 because it is the newest fountain pen that I have in my arsenal of pens. Really, really enjoying it. I kind of grinded it down on my own a little bit to give it a little bit more fineness to the medium. So it's probably more like a medium fine at this point. Really enjoying that. And in that one, I have Diamine Purple Glow in it, which is a nice, I'm going to see if you guys can see it. It's got a little bit of sheen to it, which makes it a really fun ink color to write with. Then in my Lamy Safari Special Edition, which is this one with the red clip, I am writing in Van Diemen's Peanut Brittle is what I'm using in this one. And like I said, my ink is almost out, but I'm really enjoying that orangish yellow color. Then in my Lamy 2000, and this pen is kind of, I like it because it does have quick access in the sense that do this without jarring the table. It snaps off. When it writes really well. I'm finding that I have to keep the end kind of opened up for the ink, but I'm almost at the end of this one as well. So I think what I'm going to do, I have my original Lamy and I have this white Safari. I might be getting rid of one of the two. I don't think I need both, so I'll have to see how that goes. And then lastly, I have, in the green, I have this Pilot Irizuku Shiku Ren. The reason why this got swatched twice is I had one in a little kind of like to-go sample container, and I had one in the bottle, and I just wanted to see if the ink was still, the colors were still equally the same and it didn't get corrupted at all. Sometimes ink can sit around and it goes bad, and I have this in this wonderful Pelikan M400 in white tortoise, and I absolutely love this pen too. This is in a fine nib. I've got the most of this ink still left in here, so this one might carry over, most likely will carry over into the month of May because it's just still very spring-like in color and a great writer. So that is what's going on with fountain pen inks. I will be doing a May currently inked video at some point, but I wanted to talk to you next about notepads. I'm noticing, as other people have pointed out, Tomoe River paper is not quite the same and not quite as enjoyable as it used to be. And a lot of the planners and notebooks that I got for this year, including my Hobonichis. I've got two Hans Hobonichi hardcover. It's holding up for the most part okay in both of those. I think I was lucky enough to get the better batch of the the Tomoe River paper in those. But I will say my Sterling ink book is just okay. Her batch of Tomoe River paper is just meh. And I feel like as far as my notebook journal for this year, again, I think I overbought. I only have 3, not including my 5-year journal from Midori, which is just fine. I think next year I'm only going to buy 1 notebook, and that's going to be my primary. I think I'm shuffling still too much between too many notebook journals. As much as I like them, I really am. I think I'm just getting to a phase where I just want to simplify. I think simplicity is better called for than probably overabundance and not getting caught up in the hype. And so I think next year I'm only going to buy like 1 journal, and I think it's going to be another Sterling ink. Hopefully the paper gets better. If not, I'm going to just use the Midori Daily Codex. This is what I think I'm going to use for 2026. So it's one of those two are going to be the hands down winner, and I'll know more towards the end of this calendar year. But I did stumble upon Logical Prime, and this notebook paper is fantastical. Now I got this one, fantastical. It's fantastic. I did get this brown one. I was able to buy this off of Amazon before the craziness of our current administration's tariff stuff that's going on. I did find this other little tiny one at Ginny Bic in DC. This little notebook is a gem. I'm using this for on the go. I did put this band on there. The band did not exist. I'm trying to find high tide Pinco paper because I also hear that paper is extremely fountain pen friendly as well. And so therefore, if anybody knows where I can easily get that in the United States, please leave it in the comments below. I am looking for like a more thicker notebook than this. I know that they make it in B6. They have this one. I think they have an A size, almost like a filled notes size notebook. And I don't know if I have one. I don't have one handy. And then there's always filled notes, which I think tends to work fairly decent on fountain pens as well. Just a little small in size. But I do love this paper. And I was testing it with some of my fountain pens. Let me just show you what it looked like outside of my notes. So like the paper quality, this was written with fountain pen ink. And I was using the Pelican M800. It writes beautifully on the paper. It had no problem handling the, I always have a Kaweco Paraco with some black ink in it. It handled the color versus brunch date quite well. The ghosting on it is minimum. You see a little bit. I have had no issues with bleed through with what I've used so far. I'm using this when I'm carrying around more like a fanny pack or what some people call a bum bag. I have a new REI sling bag that I'm absolutely loving, that I throw smaller notebooks in just to kind of keep my weight overall reduced. And I'm still using, put these to the side, I'm still using my my knockoff of the notebook from Plotter. So this Plotter knockoff I'm still using. I have switched out the pen to this one, which is a Pilot. Let me just see if I can get this focused in on. The Pilot G-Tech C4. This pen is extremely a fine nib. I love this pen because it does write small. It does handle, let me just get in here. Let me find a month or a week. It can handle this small grid paper that's in it quite well and still write small and really quite legibly. So I'm loving using this Pilot. I used to use this when I was doing my UX design course a long time ago, but it handles it very well. So I'm still throwing this into my bag from time to time, although I think for me, I'm more of a hardbound person. I do find, you know, the rings to be a little bit of a challenge for me sometimes. It doesn't hold as much as I like, but it does have its place and purpose. And it might probably be very good for travel, just so I can kind of slot the papers in that I want and still be not too heavy. I think that I've got too much ephemera in the back that's making it a little bit heavy. But that's where I'm at with my fountain pen / notebook journey. And without further ado, I am going to switch over to books. I have been all over the place with my reading, which is good. That's a good thing. I have absolutely been loving this Mindwell book journal, this reading journal. It's been working out really, really well for me. I keep track of all the things that I'm reading. Right now I'm reading Normal People by Sally Rooney. It has the right amount of content or free area to write my thoughts and feelings down about it, whether or not I would recommend the book, things that I would ask the author if I ever was able to meet one of the authors in person, as well as, and I have not done today's, but I've got like my reading journal every month has columns in which I can write down what I was reading that month. And then lastly, the tracker. I'm really enjoying the tracker on this Mindwell journal. So really been enjoying this quite a bit. Have no complaints with this one. I do try to keep on track of it. I will say the more notebooks that you have, at least my feeling is the more I have, the more I'm kind of feeling obligated to complete and do. As much as I like this, I could see myself keeping this reading journal and getting rid of all the other types of planners and notebooks that I have. I just feel like I only probably need 3, which is something for on the go, which I can get down to a field note size, because what I end up doing is basically saying, what do I need to do? It's like a to-do list that I'm always needing to carry around. I need something to write down, TBR books and pics if I don't have my phone handy, but I always have my phone handy. And I find that what I've been doing, and unfortunately I cannot show it to you, is because I'm recording from my phone, which is using Storygraph and Fable and putting my books that I want to get into that. So that's kind of helping me keep track of my TBR, especially on the go. Storygraph, I will say, is absolutely phenomenal as a app because it has camera capture on it so that you can scan the back of any notebook. This is not a good one. I'll show you this current one. Oh, that's not a good one. Normal people I'm reading right now. You can scan the back and get the product SKU and get the ISBN number on it, and it will allow you to capture the book, and then it'll just put it into your whatever list that you put it in and set up for yourself on Storygraph. So that's a really good thing. I haven't started watching the Hulu series of this. I'm reading the book first, and then I'm going to probably watch this. I'm really enjoying reading this alongside listening to it on Audible. I do tend to buy my books in multiple formats, just depending on the context in which I'm trying to take the book in. Like if I'm walking or if I'm walking especially, or if I'm on a scooter, I will say, I'll be listening to a book. Or if I'm walking around, I'm listening to a book now versus listening to music most of the time. And so it's a great way to have Audible. And then when I'm home and I have access to this book, so I don't have to carry around the book, I'm reading it. So reading Normal People by Sally Rooney. I also picked up in the last month a couple of other books, well, several actually, and I'll just give you a mini book haul. I've been really enjoying, bought this book a couple of weeks ago, The Daily Stoic, which are meditations like it says, based off of the writings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, which are Roman and Greek philosophers. And it gives you a little bit of the thought behind their quote up here. And it just makes me kind of slow down and think about how you carry yourself in the world, how you present yourself. They are good words of things to reflect on or things to make you slow down and think about how do you react to things, how do you present yourself, etc. So really enjoying this. They have a companion journal that you can get. I did not buy the journal. I just bought the book from BN, Barnes & Noble, in the States. But it's, I think, widely available. Good book. Highly recommended if you want to take the time to kind of slow down and reflect. I just think it's a really good book. I got this recommendation off of watching a booktuber on YouTube myself. And if I find that, I'll reference it above. Additionally, I've been taking up French. Again, I decided that I really do want to be at least bilingual in a language, if not become just a straight out polyglot in my old age. As much as I like to travel, I think it's kind of important that anytime you go to a foreign country, and just even here in the States, I just feel like it's good to be able to communicate. And the more languages you can absorb, the better it is for you and the other person, because some people English is not their first language. So I just kind of feel like it's a good thing to learn another language. So I've been doing that. And a long time ago, I bought this because I've been kind of taking foreign language on and off actually for several years and just not becoming fluent. But there's a booktuber, Joe Franco. She has her own YouTube channel, but she also developed this foreign language learning journal. And I bought it, and it sat on my bookcase for a good probably 9 months. And like now that I'm really kind of making earnest steps to parler français, I've been using this journal, and it's a good step through because it makes you accountable in a way that you go, why are you wanting to learn a foreign language? What are you trying to get out of it? It asks you these kinds of questions to make you kind of focus and home in on what are you trying to accomplish, and just be a little bit more, again, focused on it. The book has a goals section that you can set down for every month. I'm just setting this up, so I'll be utilizing this in earnest in May, but I've been kind of playing around. April, this month I'm using it since this is the 26th of April. I'm just kind of setting it up and getting it ready this month. And then there's monthly check-ins. You can do assessments. She has a whole section on that. Again, like I said, monthly check-ins. And then she has another section like here, like, what are you learning this month? And I actually started putting this in on the 20th of April, but you can kind of go, what are your highlights? Where did you get your information from? What are you learning again? I took French back in high school and my first, I think, year of college. And so it's like I really haven't, all the knowledge that I have is, and it actually is still held, which is remarkable. It still gets me through when I go to France, but I want to be more fluent and actually be able to be conversational at this point. So she has a note section in here, and then in her next section, she has, in this one, depending on what type of learner you are, you might get the most or least exciting, but the dry stuff that makes you kind of let set stuff in. So your verb conjunctions, your new vocabulary and expressions that you're learning. Verbs are very important, of course. Grammar rules, She has this, and it is kind of the granular stuff of a foreign language, but you might want to capture it. She's got some prompts in here for the beginner. Let me just zoom in. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so excited about getting through this book. So let me just go back a little bit so you can see, because I did things from far back. So monthly check-ins, she has these. So you get to kind of record your successes. Then she has a resource page of like what were the highlights of that resource. I've been listening to Easy French on YouTube, and it's kind of cartoon, but they're basic French learning lessons so that you can start attuning your ear to the language. And I will say, for people who are on low budgets, if you are looking at YouTube for content, it can be educational, and it's a good resource so that you can do that. If you have a Spotify account, Spotify is also good for audiobooks or on Spotify. I don't know if people are aware of that. So if you're buying a membership for Spotify, you can get audiobooks on Spotify, and you can get foreign language podcasts. Again, those kind of things, podcasts and foreign languages, help you tune your ear to that language. So absorbing content as much as possible. I'm starting to watch French television programming as well. Being more immersive that way helps you basically retain the language a lot easier. So in regards to all the books that I have on short lessons, short stories, that kind of thing, all those other formats, you can write down your highlights in something like this as well. I got a lot of resource pages, which is great. Then the section where you have new vocabulary and expressions, which is great because you get more of a modern flair of like what people are kind of saying in modern. Like my French is from like literally decades ago, so it's kind of good to get the modern language, the slang and stuff captured. She's got some journaling prompts in here so that you could sit there and write down how you're feeling today, what's your favorite season and why. I'm just reading some of these prompts in here. What is your goal in your target language, which that would draw you to writing the language, right? Writing the language as well as listening to it. And so it's not just memorization of vocabulary. You're starting to exercise that verb conjunction and that grammar. Lastly, let's see if we got any more things in here. Then she has this journal so if you did the reading prompt here, the prompt page prior, you can write down in here what you did. So she did have like advanced, she had beginning, intermediate, and advanced in the prompts. So you can write them in this journal area in the back and kind of keep this captured. So I really do feel like Joe Franco did a fantastic job, and you have 3 bookmarks in here if you want to keep track of where you are in your book to actually learn your language. So I think this is a fantastic companion. I was looking at Leuchtturm has also a learning journal, but it's not specifically focused in on a foreign language like this one is. I think this is a fantastic companion if you're trying to learn a foreign language self-taught on your own. And when you pair it with books like this, where you've got a reader, I've got a couple of these French readers. Each of them do different things and have different prompts. This one is a wide-held series by Ollie Richards and Richard Simcott. They do these short stories in a multitude of foreign languages. So it does make you read, and it does ask you questions at the end. It introduces you to some vocabulary. But this is, I feel like, the kind of thing that you need to be doing if you really want to learn a foreign language. So that's the foreign language tidbit right now. And some of the things that I have bought, I am now going to move to, and I did a little bit of buying prompts for books, but I want to show you something that I've been working on and thinking about for the last few months because I've seen it with other booktubers, but I came up with my own book TBR board game. I thought that I saw Kalia D do this. I watch her a lot on YouTube. I enjoy her as a booktuber. I will put her link up above, as well as if you want to know some of the other booktubers that I actually watch, but there are a ton of them out there. I developed this a couple of days ago because I was like, this would be a lot of fun. And I spent the last few weeks just getting the materials together. I got the board yesterday from Michaels. It is a foam core board, 11 by 14 inches. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit more so that you can see it all. I just basically divided the board along the sides. And then because I want to be able to change my reading prompts, I also have like translucent like little sticky notes that I have underneath each one of these numbers, but I don't want to see what I put under the numbers until I roll the dice. Went to a local game store in DC called, if anybody wants to go there, Lamberth Games and Puzzles. It's a great little shop over on Capitol Hill. And I got 2 die. One's in purple, 12-sided, and the other one was just a plain white. And then I started to, and I've got to get my little notebook because I started this game just to see how this was going to work, and it worked really quite well. So basically, I'm rolling the dice to determine what I'm going to read for this next month in May. And I'm sorry, I've already done this once, but I'll do it again for you guys, but I've already kind of did some picks. So my first roll of the dice is the number 11. So if I go around the board, I get to 11. And ironically, I've already gotten to the spot, so I'll go ahead and show you what I have under 11 is, I'll just take this off to the side. Pick a book randomly. Now that's a really bad prompt, but what I decided that I was going to do is I'm going to pick something off of a TBR list that I've had in the last couple of years that I haven't gotten to, that I really need to like tick off the box. And what I've decided, since it is kind of a random pick, it does fit it. I am going to read Bottom Up. It's a novel. I think it's a romance too. I've been meaning to read this. It's been sitting on my list for quite some time. So I'm going to read this in the month of May. So I've got to get that book because I don't own it. So I'll get it electronically or whatever. Okay, let's go back. And I'm going to just move this around so that the camera doesn't have to keep twisting. 3. From 11, 1, 2, 3. I also picked number 1. So this is funny how this is working out. Number 1 is Read a book based on a true story. And this will tie in a little bit to the TBR book haul that I bought just a couple of weeks ago. And I bought this book, actually I bought it last week, and I cannot wait to read this. It's called Educated. It's a memoir by Tara Woodstover or Wessover. This book, I cannot wait to read this next month. I'm going to give you what the back of the book says. An unforgettable memoir about a young woman who, kept out of school, goes on to earn a PhD from the University of Cambridge. A universal coming-of-age story that gets to the heart of what education is and what it offers, the possibilities to see one's life through new eyes, and the will to change it. And this woman, supposedly, I think was raised in like rural Idaho in the United States. I mean, we're talking like her family did not go to doctors. They lived off the land. If something happened to them, I think her mom grew herbs out of their garden, and that's how any kind of medical attention had to happen from home and what was available to them around the land. And like literally, she decided to like go to school and teach herself because I think her family was kind of anti-education, anti-people. I mean, they were like deep in the cuts in the woods. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book next month. So that will be one of my May picks. The other May pick is going to again be Read Bottom Up. So we got that one. Let's roll the dice again. That is looking like, is this a 9 or is it a 6? Okay, I cannot tell. I think it's a 9 because the dot is on the bottom. So I think that's 9. Let me look see what 6 looks like. Oh yeah, that's a 9. Yeah, that's a 9. This is a 9. So I'm going to go 9 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 9th one, I'll just bring this around so it faces everyone, says, I have these with a little sticky on holding on it. Uh-oh, don't want to lift this up. Read a past TBR that you didn't get to. Okay, that's not a horrible thing. I am going to read Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin because I did want to read that. That's going to give me, that's great because that's classic. I got to go and get it. So hold on just a second while I walk over because I should have had it. Like I said, I didn't know exactly how this was going to turn out, but I do have James Baldwin's Giovanni Room, and I've been wanting to read this because I love how James Baldwin writes. I love his style. Excuse me while I get back into my chair here. So I will read this for the month of May as well. Next up, I'm going to only pick, that's 3 books. I'm only going to pick 5 books because it's going to, oops, rolled off 8. Let me pull up 9 because I don't want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives me number 4 on the board. Now, the one thing I do like about this is because if you look at the translucency of these Post-it notes, they're Post-it notes. Let me just bring this up. So, sorry, I'm hitting a plant here. Read a book about friendship. Okay, so the book about friendship that I can read, I'm already kind of reading it. I already kind of cheated. Because that is Sally Rooney's Normal People. That is one, but it's not the month of May. So I've got to think about this because I also have on, I got to think about a book about friendship. Oh, goodness. Okay, I can either cheat. I know it's really bad, but Sally Rooney was already a book that I had for this month. So I'm going to be still reading this in the month of May because I don't think I'm going to get to finish it in the next 2 days. A book about friendship. I have a huge TBR list. I'm just trying to see because one of the books that I might not get to is a book that I'm definitely going to read next month, regardless of if I roll the dice in front of you or not, because I've already decided that I want to read it. I don't know if Jade Legacy is about friendship. I mean, it's fantasy, family rivals. I really need to get that book read because I really want to read that book. But I know one of the books that I have on my Libra Kobo book. Do I have it on here? I think I do. Friendship is hard because it's so specific. I'm just trying to see if I have it on here because I think that will do it. Too bad I read Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. I'm going to have to think about that because I think some of my books have friendship in it, but it's not specifically targeting friendship. So I'm going to have to think about the friendship book and get back to everyone next time I do a book because I've also acquired, oops, I put the sticky notes on here. Hold on just a second. I also acquired, which I do feel like this deals with friendship in a roundabout way. I would have done this more as a genre pick versus subject matter because I've got Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. And I feel like he's going to have some friendships in it, although one of the major tropes on this one is revenge. But normal people would still satisfy it. I'm going to have to think about this because I have a book in mind, but I don't have the ability to, A, give the name of the woman who did it. I know she wrote a trilogy. It's the one about the women that grew up together in Italy, and it's like that whole entire series. I'll put the picture in the insert while I'm talking about this when I edit it in the post-editing me. I thought I had it on my Cobra Libra, and I'm not seeing it at all, which is kind of freaking me out because I thought I had it in there. Let me see here. Oh, speaking of which, when it comes to, well, I'm going to do a separate video on resources on getting books electronically and audiobooks because I feel like there's a plethora of really good resources that some people might not exercise. Okay, I have number 1. I have number 4 here with the friendship that I know I've got to find a book. And I've got it, and I'll just put it up in the link below. I had it on an electronic device. It might be on my Kindle. And I will go ahead and put it up there. Okay, we got to go 12 squares on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is co-read a book along an audiobook that I've been longing to read together. Oh, well, that could be, that could be numerous ones. I'd like when I'm reading a book from a foreign country that has an accent, because I like to hear the accents that people are speaking. You know what? I need to read this book, like I said. So I will make Jade Legacy, which is a book that I've been wanting to get done and get read. I'm going to make Jade Legacy out of the Greenbone Saga from Fonda Lee, that book, because I need to buy it and I need to, it's a chunky monkey. I mean, it's huge. I was at the bookstore last week, and because I had bought the books that I did, which I'll show you in just a second, I didn't buy that book because it was the size of, I'll show you, it's like the size of Normal People and one of the books that I have here together, or like Golden Sun. So the book thickness for the Greenbone Saga, the last book in the, what I would say, the quadrilogy, is about as thick as these two books together. And I was just not going to carry it because it's not carryable. That's one of those books that you buy, you put it on your Kindle and actually read it on the Kindle. So I will go ahead and read that one. I don't have that book. I'll buy it electronically and either put it on my Kobo Libra or under my Kindle Advice. Now, so that ends the TBR game. I'm going to really enjoy it, but I love it because I can move these Post-it notes. They lift, and I can basically lift these up because they're just stickies. They're fantastic. I think I got these at Ginny Bick, but they're really small. They're, I think, made by Stology, but I can like put them down in the squares, move them around so that they're fresh and they're not stale. And if I get tired of the prompts, all I got to do is lift them and put down another one of these and then just hide them behind the numbers. So that's going to be my TBR picks. I will put insert highlights of the books that I don't have physically while I do the edit because I don't have it. So there'll be post-edit me putting those in. And that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the content, let me know. I know I'm switching up my channel a little bit. I said it's going to probably come and lean a little bit more what's going on just in general with me. It's a what's up kind of thing. And I might end up changing the channel name because I'm kind of am moving away from fountain pens a little bit as the main driver for my content and planners. I just oversaturate it. I've been doing it for almost 10 years now and I'm just needing to switch it up. But that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're reading. If you've read any of the books, don't give me too many of the spoilers, but just let me know if it's a good choice or not. All right, guys, until next time, take care. Bye.